In the tunnel. In the tunnel. In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 71.
71, just in time. We planned out an episode last week and had pretty much nothing. And we were going to record that by last weekend. We didn't get to it.
Yep.
And thank God this week happened, because holy shit did the sports world blow the fuck up.
Yeah, some pretty major things have happened in the past week. So let's get to it. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the NFL.
The long-awaited NFL story of the week is the first look at the COVID helmet. The helmet that confuses the fuck out of me. Because I don't see how this thing is idiot-proof.
No, it's not, dude.
The problem here is, as I try to center myself talking about idiot-proof, let's see here. The problem is, god damn it. Alright, so the problem is that this helmet, I don't see how a player can't spit and, have the same problem, or the same issue that they're trying to prevent. So it's a dual-layered filter system that's supposed to catch the sweat, perspiration, whatever, someone sneezes into it or coughs into it, whatever it may be, it's supposed to catch that. But the problem is you still have distance between mouth and face mask, so you can still spit or sneeze down.
Yeah, there's some air gaps still.
Yeah, there's air gaps, but it's I guess a decent first draft. I mean, keep in mind, I think Oakley was the ones who created this.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I'm not saying Oakley isn't reputable,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they're reputable in CDC and FDA approved face masks. So we'll see.
I mean, at least if that type of mask is going on somebody, to actually, cover them as an actual mask, it's a lot different than it being part of something exterior to the head, right? So, I mean, I have no doubts that this mask is gonna be a great mask if it was material for someone to wear it over their ears and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm more concerned about all the gaps that the NFL helmet still has. I mean, they're needed, don't get me wrong, because you gotta breathe.
Absolutely.
But that is the more troubling thing. Even though 90% of it goes in front of you, there's still that 10% that's going down and up and whatever.
The only thing that I'll say is, two things. One, face mask penalties become huge this year. Because if you grab the face mask, you're basically dousing your hands in whatever germs are there.
Your gloves in germs, dude.
Yeah, everybody better wear gloves this year. And two, at this point, what are the odds that you'll just see players wear a cloth mask under their helmet. Something that covers up their mouth, and then it's still.
Not gonna happen.
I mean,
if my solution is, hey, I want to be safer, so I'm gonna wear a cloth mask under the helmet, I'm just not gonna play this year. And that's because of the breathe. Like, you're already restricted in, like, okay, how many avenues can air come in so I can breathe, right? This filtration mask is gonna let air in, but it's filtering it, so it's not like it's not like being out in the open, you know. And so, like, I'm just gonna put more layers between me and air and just start breathing mask. And the second thing is, what about mouth guards, right?
okay, what about them?
No, I'm just asking.
I wear one when I play deck hockey.
Yeah, no. But, like, usually you clip the mouth guard into part of your mask somewhere, right? And then it goes from there.
Player sometimes. It depends on the face mask.
Yeah, but so a lot of, like, where the players put the mouth guard, if you're gonna attach a mask to it, is not gonna happen anymore, or is not possible for the.
They're just gonna have to be grown men and keep the mouth guard in their hand. I'm sorry that it's a minor inconvenience. I really am. These guys train in like 115-degree weather in Florida in the off season. The minor inconvenience of having to wear a mask is beyond me. These are the world's best athletes.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying,
a wide receiver runs 60 yards down the field on a running play that loses 2 yards.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
the level of exertion is already beyond what it should be.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, in this mask design, right, like, you have to take into account, like, obviously, players wear mouth guards, it goes in their mouth, but, like, they're not going to be able to string it through their mask, so, like, they just have to keep it in. And so, are they allowed to take their helmets off on the sideline because somebody's going to ask for that? You know, you still have those oxygen stations. Like, my whole thing is not that, like, this is going to be a pain for the players to play in. It's what happens around, what, like, you're playing 60 minutes of football. You're actually exerting yourself for, what, like 10, 15 minutes? If that? So, like, what around, like, you know, you usually have oxygen on the sideline and you're around a bunch of people. Can you take your mask off? What are you doing? Like that is the bigger logistical nightmare than playing the game with these things.
Yeah. So, again, so what you're saying is if wearing a mask is a problem because of breathing, but you're going to let these guys go on the sideline and do whatever the fuck they're going to do.
I'm not saying they can
the
do that.
breathing doesn't fucking matter.
I'm asking, what do they do? Because this is just, like, we're only talking on the field. I'm asking, like, I want to figure out, like, that's more of a statement saying, like, how does it change the sideline, right? Because so far we've only been concentrating on the fact that they're on the field playing with these things. But we have to remember for about 40 to 45 minutes, they're not on the field playing with these things.
Fortunately, I mean, there's going to be limited media. There's going to be limited photographers, stuff like that. So in a theory this year, social distancing becomes easier. They can get more benches and stuff on the sideline. You can go end zone to end zone, or at least, I don't know, 30 more yards on each sideline.
Yeah. With
player distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to have cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You're probably going to put more coaches in the booth.
Okay.
Because the booths can actually, if you can figure out the wiring and setup, you can have, you know, only a certain amount of coaches in certain suites or booths.
Mm-hmm.
So there's potential to space things out on the sideline,
mm-hmm.
more so than, you know, a normal year, obviously.
I mean, yeah, more so than a normal year, but you still have certain people, like your athletic training staff is still on the sideline. you probably still have one coach on the sideline at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. At least.
Yeah, and I understand like you're gonna like spread more people out, but you still have all that equipment that you have the equipment handled teams have equipment handlers for, and a lot of it, like in the one case I'm bringing up of like use of oxygen, right? It requires one thing: your helmet basically comes off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like saying, like this is for a first draft or even a second draft. I'm pretty sure they've been through a couple iterations at this point. Is pretty good. It's just
It is.
I want to see how this interacts with like the time when the player is not on the field.
The big thing is it needs something over the chin.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know, something small, which is going to be hard because when you take a helmet on and off, something between the chin and where the face mask is, say it's a mesh or something like that, is probably prone to being ripped.
Yep.
So we'll have to see where it goes, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It's out there.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to touch on with masks and helmets?
This was more arguing than I was really planned to get into on a Friday afternoon after work, but
No.
we got a lot done there. So
All right.
let's move on to the next part.
Probably the more sought after news, I guess. Washington.
Yeah.
The skins.
The skins, yeah.
Yeah.
The chicken skins.
All right.
Made in an air fryer.
You're liking your air fryer too much, man. I think I gotta cut you off.
Made wings twice and chicken tenders.
Anyway, the skins, they released a statement saying that they are reviewing new names for the team.
Well, the statement essentially says that they're retiring the name Redskins, which is a great thing. And it would have made a whole lot of fucking sense if they had done it without a gigantic Washington Redskins logo letterhead.
Yep.
You take text over an image in that sense, or you just put the NFL logo and then put Washington Redskins next to it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fucking put the culturally insensitive logo that you're moving on from right smack in the face of people as you say that you're moving on from it.
Yeah.
I may not know business to an extent where I'm amazing at it, but this is just common sense. You don't do this shit. So yeah, they fucked this up.
I mean,
and then they continue to fuck it up, as you'll find out in a minute or two.
Well, hold on. They're not in a minute or two. It's not really their fault.
There's the harassment part that is very much their fault.
But it's also like a byproduct of the situation.
Well, also a byproduct of the situation is they have to slap their logo with a redskin on it as a byproduct of the fact that they named themselves Redskins in the first place.
I mean, hold on. You want to know how many times Redskins is stated in this release, right? You got the name Washington Redskins, right? Then you have Redskins Park still in this logo section. Then you have the address, which also has Redskin in it.
Okay.
Then you have the website.
By the way, I'm willing to bet at least $10 that they're not going to change the name of the street.
Okay, so you have the street name, which is Redskin Park Drive, right? Then you have the website, which is redskins.com. Then, in big bold letters, you have a statement from the Washington Redskins football team.
Okay, I wish I could say I was counting here.
And then you finally have Redskins mentioned in the body of the letter once.
Yep. So that's at least 5 times, I think.
Try 7, I think.
I said at least 5. I told you I'm goddamn done with work for the day, man.
This
It's
isn't work.
Friday afternoon. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. And now I'm insensitive for making fun of Jesus, even though he's not my God. Here we go.
All right. Anyway, now that this little rant is over, yes, it was a little rant. Let's move on to the
That's
next
like
issue.
I have a little problem with you.
All right, here you go. Take it away.
All right. So, yeah, I wish I could read this, but I'll pull it up on my end. So, the fun part about this week was, this only makes me curious about what the hell's going on with domain names.
Uh-huh.
Because, according to Will Brinson on Twitter, a nice real estate agent in Alexandria, Virginia, has squatted on 14 trademarks for the potential Washington football team.
I like how things are like Washington Freedom Fighters is twice because he had to include the one with the abbreviation in it also.
Well, because you know what? It's like the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, I think it's have the letters Gales GSH on the shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm.
What if they did the same thing but tried to trademark the logo if they were Washington? Now, I don't know if it's trademarked for Chicago, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's the design of it that they're trademarked. All right. So here's what was squatted on. The Washington Red Wolves, which, by the way, the number of times that the option for the Washington team still involves the color red in it is, you're going from one level of sensitivity to another. Because then you get into the stereotype of, what kind of people are considered red? And then the Washington Tribe, okay, a little less insensitive, but you're still kind of, if the Cleveland Indians are changing their name and their nickname is the Tribe, maybe.
I mean,
it's less insensitive, but it's still.
I think
it's still towing some line.
Isn't the Cleveland Indians logo the bigger issue?
It is, but the name is still.
Okay.
The Indians already retired wearing the mascot on the hat.
Yeah, okay,
They
but that was
replaced it
the
with
bigger
letters.
issue.
But that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
All right, so the Washington Red Tails, the Washington Monuments, which is, I think, a great name for a team that always finishes in third or fourth. They don't really move in the standings. The Washington Veterans, which is a great ovation until you realize how bad the team is. The Washington Renegades Gridiron Football. Now, that's just too long.
Yeah.
The Washington Braves Professional Football Team. Again, it's a little too long.
But I mean, you'd probably be calling it the Washington Braves, and professional football team is just there.
But then we're getting back to the same shit that the Atlanta Braves are now going through.
Oh.
But the Atlanta Braves, to their stupidity, have decided that it was the tomahawk chop that was the insensitive part. It's like, yeah, it's not the name at all.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Washington Red Tails, which is an ovation to fighter pilots.
Uh-huh.
The Freedom Fighters,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess it depends on who's in the White House. The War Hogs, which
that could be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, it could be. Plus, the obesity rate, I don't feel like, is big enough in Washington, D.C. to be synonymous with that name. I know, that's rude to say, but... It's not Warhawks. Not as bad as Radskins.
Yeah, no, that one's just bad. Get it out of here.
That's a name that lasts in the late '60s and early '70s and then dies. The red-tailed hawks, and then the Potomacs, which apparently is a neighborhood in Maryland. I tried to look up what a Potomac is, and I was left more confused than when I started.
So the only thing I notice in here is that the red tails appear twice. Number 3 and number 8. Also, like, if I was gonna be named the Red Tail Hawks, I'd rather just be named the Red Tails. So I feel like that one can just get out of here. I don't think you're gonna name the team the Washington Monuments. Veterans, probably not. Potomacs.
So the Red-tailed Hawks, the thing about that is, eventually a team adapts a shorter nickname. It always happens. And we already have the Seattle Seahawks. So what are you gonna have? 2 teams that just go by the Hawks?
Red Tails, dude.
Well, I'm saying that's like, if they went with Red-tail Hawks, I think there's just too much of a margin for error and duplication.
Yep. All right. So, what other names are we? So like we've gone through some of these names. So others on the list are like Red Hawks, even Senators, Americans or Generals. I really don't agree with. Warriors, Bravehearts. I really don't know about that one either. Renegades, which was on the list, but those are probably like the some possible names.
So this is bias. I think that the Steelers should have the right to rename themselves to Renegades at any point, just because of they play Renegade every game to pump up the defense. So
okay.
I think that if there is an alternative name in case by any chance Steelworkers turns into a stereotype or something like that 70 years from now, we should have first dibs. Because we've been playing Renegade for 25 or 20 plus years now.
Okay.
Again, we talked about the Braves. I don't like the tying in of senators, generals, anything political. I think you got to keep that out of sports as much as you can.
Yeah. That's
Plus, there's also the Harrisburg Senators, the affiliate for the Washington Nationals. And then I just don't like Americans because
I don't like that either.
You're claiming too much of a territory with that. So I think, and again, these were just options reported by columnists of possibilities. People trying to be creative, and then we said, you know what, we're not creative. So these are our takes on that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of a lot of these. I think the internet seems to love red tails, but they love red tails because of the concepts by social media,
which aren't going to happen, unfortunately.
But like if they did red wolves or something, that could be cool because a wolf like howling into the night sky would be kind of dope, kind of like the Minnesota Timberwolves, but like with a better color scheme, like a more. I like the Minnesota Timberwolves color scheme. It's the same as the Seattle Seahawks, but the thing about it is it doesn't really scream masculinity into anything, so you need to go a little bit different with the approach.
All right. Anything else you want to touch on football? No?
It's a long week for the Washington headquarters.
All right.
Of all NFL teams, they probably had the most to do. Everybody probably put in a solid 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
Between the harassment and all this other shit.
All right. On to our next sport, which is the NHL.
I'm letting you take the lead on this one, by the way. You have more research on it.
All right.
Well, at least you're part of it.
So, The CBA, they have agreed to a CBA, the NHL and the NHLPA at least through the 25-26 season.
which is huge. No additional lockout. Only like 7 years after the last one.
Yeah,
Can you believe it's already been 7 years?
It's been quite a while, dude, and I'm actually quite
But
surprised.
the lockout feels like it was only like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised at some of it, and it's actually really good for the sport, I think, in general. The fact that in 2022, they'll be able to go to the Olympics along with 2026. And like, there's slight things like the maximum salary of the of entry level players is going up to, I think by 2026 it'll be $1 million. Instead of, I think the current
They don't
one
make
is,
anywhere near that now.
huh?
They don't make anywhere near
No,
that now.
entry level, yeah, like Heischer and them got paid $925 or something. What was it?
Annually or overall?
No, their entry level, like the contract was annual, like $925 or something like that.
I mean, there's veterans that sign for minimums lower than that.
Yeah, but the maximum salary for a drafted player basically is going up instead of 925 in 6 years it'll be $1 million.
Anyway,
and I think the salary minimum is also going up to like 775 instead of 700 or something like that too.
is the cap going up as well?
I think so. I didn't see concrete numbers come out, and I didn't take time to read the agreement either. But like those are the general things. At least good for the sport is the fact that the NHL players will be allowed to go back to the Olympics for at least the next two.
That's good.
And again, like for you and I, it's great for the sport because we're still not the most popular sport, but the Olympics we get the most traction from.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially because, I'd say that hockey and basketball are by far the biggest Olympic sports in terms of team sports.
Yep.
They gain the most eyes and traction whenever the Olympics are going on. But the thing is, the U.S. has cornered international basketball competition and dominated it so much. Whereas, Russia,
Canada,
Slovenia, or not Slovenia, but
Sweden.
there's Sweden. That's it. Where you have a number of countries that are competing for top spot in international hockey play, especially on the Olympic stage.
Yep.
And then you throw the U.S. in because every 1 in 3 Olympics, they have a good enough team to potentially win a gold.
I mean,
but that's the competition.
I think like we have a good enough team most Olympics to attempt to medal. I'm not going to say gold.
I'm saying it takes, I'd say once every 12 years, they have a team where the prime years of some of like the top 6 line up to be like, they can make a run at gold, but they're in terms of caliber is probably silver.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, I do think that, and a lot of the NHL players, right? Even a lot of the star players come from overseas, which is, I feel like, the biggest thing in this.
As it should be.
No, but I think it's the biggest thing in this, in the fact that, like, the NHL not being the Olympics actually hurts, like, competition as a whole, right? Whereas if the NBA were to opt out of the Olympics, that's mostly just the American players. Mostly.
Say that, you have leagues like the KHL over in Russia, where a lot of KHL players have kind of been signed straight to NHL without having gone to AHL roster or AHL or anything like that. So other countries get the benefit of being able to put KHL players like Ilya Kovalchuk in the past, which are basically NHL players, on teams. Well,
Right.
a lot of Americans are grinding to be in the NHL and then don't get to play for their country, which happened in the last Olympics. And then the said drop off for the Americans, where they basically are like bronze or not medaling at all,
Right.
is the big statement.
Right.
So it then takes away from the growth and popularity of the sport.
But I mean, like, the point is that the sport as a whole benefits from Alex Ovechkin being on the Olympic stage. Primarily, right? You have Ovechkin, you might have Crosby, and maybe one or two others, like Lundqvist did net, right?
I mean, not at this point.
No, but like in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the past, right? The NHL player, like the NHL, has always benefited more from foreign players that play in the NHL being in the Olympics, I feel, than American players.
Absolutely. But if you want to grow the game in America, you have to have a competitive, top-tier American presence in the Olympics.
Right.
But because it draws the eyes of young children who want to grow up and play the game.
Right.
And if the American teams suck, it's easier to just turn the game off.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's huge for the CBA. And
I'm glad that we won't have to go through another lockout for another 6 years.
And, just to kind of step away from hockey for a second, I think the NHL and the MLS both had the ability to extend the CBAs for a few years down the line during the coronavirus pandemic, which just goes to further show how badly baseball fucked it up. Because baseball couldn't salvage one season and is now more prone to a lockout after 2021 instead of making moves. Meanwhile, two sports leagues that are going towards a bubble and didn't give a shit about, losing money have gone and secured their long-term futures.
Right, but the other thing is, right, actually it was both the NHL and the NHLPA had like a season extension option each. And it's weird because both of them declined to extend the CBA, but stayed in negotiations. This CBA would run out in 2022, actually, or 2021-2022 season, I think.
Okay, so it has 4 years. So
this this one would have run. Yeah, so this one, the new CBA adds 4 years. That's actually pretty good for neither of them opting an extension, which would have brought it to 2022.
And for neither having really, a perfect scenario for what's going on right now either.
I'm just surprised, and I'm glad it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes, it worked out better than expected, for sure.
Yeah. And
until the hub stuff happened, which we'll touch on.
But I mean, the thing is, right, the hub was actually, like, all of that stuff was within these negotiations.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, the hub notwithstanding, like they got a plan together. Both the NHL and the NHLPA ratified it, and they got this CBA through that lasts another 4 or 5, another 6 seasons until the end of or 5 seasons, whatever it is. And so, like, even with what we're gonna get to, it's still a pretty amazing thing for all the bureaucracy that goes around.
Until a storm went through Edmonton last night and gave the arena water damage.
Yep. All right. So you wanna get onto that? Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get into it. All right. So we have the hotel assignments graphics courtesy of TSN because we stole it from there. But it's we're not allowed to go into Canada, so if they sue us, then we're on the grounds of international, and we're not allowed to go there. So here we go. So we have the hotel assignments in both Toronto and Edmonton for the teams. We have the Bruins, Lightning, Capitals, Flyers, and Penguins going to Hotel X in Toronto. and the Hurricanes, Islanders, Maple Leafs, Blue Jackets, Panthers, Rangers, and Canadians going to the Royal York in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. We're going to play a little game called Who's Got the Best Life?
Okay.
Or best life in the bubble, I guess. So we're going to look at Hotel X first, if you wouldn't mind advancing
I
a
think
slide.
we actually look at both of them at the same time.
I just wanted to make sure that we had the right graphic up. All right, so Hotel X, home of the Bruins, Lightning, Capitals, Flyers, Penguins. Those good enough to be the top 5 seeds in the Eastern Conference. As a guest of Hotel X Toronto by the Library Hotel Collection, they welcome you to enjoy their resort-style amenities. And yes, I'm reading this right off the website. From April 1st, we will charge a nightly resort fee of just $25, plus a hotel fee of per room to include all of the following: high-speed Wi-Fi, house car outbound service within 5 kilometers. Don't ask for conversions. I'm not doing that shit.
5 kilometers is about 3 miles, by the way.
Okay, you know what, Sean? 2 fitness class passes per room per day, a $40 value. $20 off all spa services. Access to the screening room film series. Yeah, I guarantee you there's going to be no game film sessions going on in there. 24/7 access to the 10 XTO's primary fitness center gym. In-room bottled water, teas, and Nespresso. A library in business center access, because nothing screams sophistication like fourth liners jamming into each other against a wall. Year-round heated rooftop swimming pool. That's nice this time of year, I'm assuming that no one pees COVID into the pool.
God, why? Why'd you have to say that?
I know. Low-hanging fruit.
Why did you have to say that? Okay.
Low-hanging
right,
fruit,
hold
which
on.
is something you can see in someone's bathing suit if they don't secure their...
Okay,
Anyway.
on to their competitor for the bottom 7 teams.
Wait,
right?
I'm not done. 10% off Ripley's Aquarium, 20% off the Toronto Zoo, and 35% off at Medieval Times.
Yeah, none of that's happening. Okay, move on.
What do you mean? Medieval Times are all wearing masks anyway.
But do you really think an NHL player is going to go to Medieval Times?
Let me guess. Play on the 8 squash courts in the hotel?
Yes.
The 4 indoor tennis courts? What makes you think any of these guys are picking up tennis?
They're not. They're going to convert a tennis court into like a giant gym, dude.
No, they're going to convert the kids' play center to that. They have a top golf swing suite, free weights, cardio equipment, a yoga studio, a spin studio, Pilates, fitness classes, as we said, personal training, private coaching, yoga sessions. And by the way, according to the website, the rooftop pool is coming in 2020. So let's just pray to God that it's finished, Sean. Otherwise, Tom Wilson is just going to jump into a concrete block.
All right, just move on to the Royal York, will you?
All right, yeah, sure. You get valet parking, internet pool, fitness center, a bar. You get bicycles, evening entertainment. Pets are allowed, even though it's kind of hard to fit them in a suitcase. Private parking on site, Wi-Fi, paid Wi-Fi. Nice to know that they're cheap enough to have tiers. Hot tub, indoor pool, heated pool, fitness rooms. Let's see here. A sauna, coffee shop, restaurant. They don't say what kind. That's a little bit of an undersell. Breakfast available in the form of a buffet and in the room. Complimentary instant coffee, complimentary tea, Kids meals, wine and champagne. Those aren't the same thing. They don't have wine and champagne for the kids. Airport transportation. I don't think anybody's going anywhere anytime soon. Taxi service. I don't think you're going to need that. Conference facilities. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be in one place. Banquet room, meeting rooms. Well, that's good. Fax and photocopying, which is good for any cheating scandal. The spa, salon, 24-hour security, which is good because the X apparently doesn't have that. Baggage storage, they call those hotel rooms. Concierge, currency exchange, a non-smoking hotel. Oh, good. I was worried that athletes didn't take care of their bodies. A butler service and a door person. Pretty sure that's the same thing. 24-hour front desk. Well, yeah. Dry cleaning, laundry service, and a shoe shine. Not a spit shine, though.
Okay, so what teams have the better amenities?
You know what? First, I thought that would be the top 5 teams, but I think in terms of basic necessities, I think that the Royal York has you covered a little bit better. What do you think?
I think that they put more teams at the Royal York just because of the space, I guess. At least from the pictures, that's what it looks like. This Royal York building is gigantic.
Yeah.
Although
the Hotel X, we're just looking at a picture of the pool.
Yeah, but I'll go with it's more bougie at the Hotel X, so they win.
All right, and bonus points for
it's more bougie for no additional cost at the Hotel X. Let me put it that way. Huh?
I said bonus points for dropping the word bougie for hockey players in hotels. Somehow you found a context where that works.
Hey, it works.
When you roll your eyes to me for anything I say, and then you turn around and say that shit. Okay. All right.
Okay, we'll move on to the Western.
All right, moving on to the Western Conference.
Aside from the fact that there's been a flood in a hockey arena, I guess. So
yeah, which apparently doesn't affect anything because they play on ice.
Yeah.
Who would have figured that one out? All right, so the JW Marriott, unfortunately, someone has to stay at the chain.
Uh-huh.
Actually, the Royal York was part of a chain too. I just don't remember which one. The Marriott, JW Marriott. Which JW apparently is its own chain because there's JWs all over the world. And then if you put an E in front of the W, then there's Jews everywhere.
Oh, God.
All right. So the Blues, Avalanche, Golden Knights, Stars, Oilers, and Predators will all be in the JW Marriott. So it's the top 6 teams go to one place in the West. And the bottom 6 teams, not really bottom, you get what I'm saying. The Canucks, Flames, Jets, Wild, Arizona, Coyotes, and Blackhawks will all be at Sutton Place. Basically, if they just put the Oilers in Sutton Place, they would have had all the Canadian teams outside of Montreal that made the playoffs in one hotel.
Yeah.
And then if they actually had the hub city in the United States and then put all the Canadian teams in one hotel, basically you would have a new immigration policy on the president's desk by the end of the week.
All right, so do we want to move to pictures of these hotels?
Yeah, sure. Let's go through it.
So,
all right, so
basically the reason that the Edmonton Oilers are at JW Marriott is because it's right next to Rogers Place.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then Rogers Place, that's not, or JW Marriott, I don't think that's a hotel that's in the Rogers. Is it the one that's in you get where I'm going, that's where the Blue Jays play?
I don't think
Do the Oilers and Blue Jays play in the same place?
No, the Toronto Blue Jays?
Well, it's not real grass that's in there. You never know.
No.
We're doing this.
Anyway.
Edmonton Oilers Arena.
So basically, right, the JW Marriott's connected to the dang arena.
Place.
So Yeah, that's why half the teams are there. Sudden Place, it looks like your standard hotel. I don't know what else to say
Okay,
about it.
don't give me shit for this. The Oilers play in Rogers Place. The Blue Jays play in Rogers Center.
Yes. Okay.
So, give me some slack there. It's not my
They're
fault that only
different
one
cities.
company. It's not my fault only one company exists in all of Canada.
I mean, Ottawa plays at what, the Ottawa Tire Center or something?
Get what I'm saying, dude?
Or Canadian Tire Center, whatever it is. But, like, they're also in two different cities. That's what I'm giving you flack for.
Okay. Oh yeah, I probably should figure that one out. Yeah, just
Anyway,
provinces, man. Provinces.
Without hearing about the amenities of either of these hotels, which we'll get into, JW Marriott teams win. End of story.
Okay. In terms of what?
They're connected to an arena. They win.
The other one is like a minute down the street.
Also, the one that's a minute down the street just looks like a plain hotel, man.
Yeah. So does every hotel in this country that isn't in Hawaii.
The Royal York, like, at least like the design of the outside.
It looked like a classy dated. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. This thing is a concrete slab with some windows.
What's on the inside that counts? Bullshit.
Alright, you want to tell us what's going on in these hotels?
Alright, so the Marriott has non-smoking in all public areas. They have car rentals.
Not useful.
It's going to be enticing for players. Basically, to have the resources right there to just get the fuck out and do whatever they want. They have concierge lounge hours. They have coffee and tea. That's original. They have babysitting in case you don't bring your child to the hub, I guess. I don't know. They have a foreign exchange nearby. Not in the hotel, nearby. They have daily housekeeping.
Okay.
Limousine service.
Mm-hmm.
Delivery from local restaurants, which, you don't really have to have a hotel amenity for that. I'm pretty sure places just deliver. Mobility accessible rooms, wheelchair accessible. Room service, again. This is universal stuff.
Yeah.
Safe deposit boxes and a front desk. They have a front desk. That's going to be very important because when you check into the rooms, you really need a place to, really put your arms down on the counter and just lay into them and just be like, okay. And you have valet dry cleaning. So this is, I'd argue to say, maybe the most bare bones for amenities. I'm sure there's Wi-Fi and stuff too, but in terms of their website, they didn't really list it. This is...
there has to be Wi-Fi, dude.
Well, yeah, at the arena. They're all just scalping the arena Wi-Fi off in the hotel. I only get 2 bars.
Alright, how about the other place? The concrete slab with some windows.
No, it's Sutton Place, not other place.
Close enough.
So they have a pool.
Okay.
Very original. Free Wi-Fi, pet friendly. They have air conditioning. That's going to be beneficial. They have a restaurant. Again, none of these Canadian places say what kind of restaurant. I think that's a little bit rude. They have a gym. Breakfast is available. They're not going to, just jam it down your throat.
Okay.
Business services. That's good. These guys are definitely not businessmen. Parking is available. Someone tells me that they're just going to need, 10 to 12 buses. They have a bar, which is good because when you have 6 teams playing against each other, everybody's going to need a drink, which is either going to result in things getting just more relaxed or everybody's going to get suspended for bar fights. Laundry services, room service. Let's see here. 24-hour front desk concierge services as well. Let's see. Daily housekeeping. Oh.
All these seem pretty plain.
Wait, there's more. The staff is multilingual. They do have tour and ticket assistance. And if you want to get married, wedding services. They have 5 meeting rooms, Their business center is 24 hours. They have people that speak English, Spanish, and Filipino.
I was expecting French in there, but I guess not.
I don't know. You would think, but this is Edmonton after all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You can note special requests in your booking.
Okay.
Wheelchair accessible pretty much everywhere. Let's see. There's a TV in the lobby. That's nice. Probably TVs in the room.
Still, just on looks, I'm going with JW Marriott.
I mean, there's probably more in a Marriott than in Sutton Place anyway. Anyway.
All right. So, what about overall? Which hotel is the best amenity?
Jeez, I'm sticking with the Royal York.
Okay. Okay.
I think
definitely
the Royal
think
York has you covered pretty good.
I definitely think Toronto wins. I definitely think Toronto wins.
The only thing is, if the Royal York doesn't have bilingual players, or not players, staff, then I guess you can give points to Sun Place for multilingual.
But I mean, isn't Toronto
these
the place
guys
where they speak French?
English and what?
Isn't Toronto still in like French-speaking Canada?
I mean, the thing is, Canada, I'm pretty sure, has 3 national languages: English, Spanish, and French.
Yeah, I mean, so if something says they're multilingual in Canada, I would expect those 3 languages then.
Filipino, French, they both start with a P.
All right. Anyway, on to the NBA.
Oh, good. Yeah. So we have a food update, a big-time food update. You better be thankful that these millionaires are eating good now.
Oh my god, dude.
They're going to have tons of shit. They're going to be eating real good for lunch and dinner, but for breakfast, Mickey Waffles.
Mickey Mouse waffles, dude.
Mickey fucking Waffles. And if you bite the ears off, Walt Disney is going to come out of the cryogenic chamber and beat your ass until you're Rajon Rondo and you have to opt out of the season because you have broken ribs or whatever the fuck happened there.
All right, well, let's get the worst out of the way, or at least what we presume is the worst.
By the way, I have an idea for a Rajon Rondo Orlando Restart clothing line.
Okay.
Because Disney always sells like the corny shirts and stuff. Like I went to Disney and all I came back with was a stupid shirt. You can sell a Rajon Rondo. I went to Orlando and all I got was like a broken elbow.
All right. Anyway, let's get the worst of the food out of the way, which is not the Mickey Mouse waffles, in my opinion. It's
really
Joe's Crab Shack.
Well, it depends what you're getting at Joe's Crab Shack. I'm sure you can get a quality fish and chips at Joe's Crab Shack. But if we're going meat, big time red flag. Nothing against Joe's Crab Shack, but I trust your fish way more than I trust the next meat. I don't trust you at all with chicken. I don't even trust you with chicken of the sea tuna.
But I mean, it's Walt Disneyland. Like the food might not be good for you, but it's made to taste okay.
I don't understand why they couldn't just open up 5 restaurants in Epcot and just ship it over. What the? We're living in some reality here where Walt Disney, I guess, doesn't benefit from like having any of their services other than the hotels open.
Hey, nope, they're serving their food. Which is still probably part of the hotel anyway.
Part of Epcot is Mickey Mouse waffles in. Because I guarantee it ain't fucking Germany. This ain't Belgian waffle shit.
Alright, well, aside from that, you have a seafood room, which is probably where you should get your seafood over Joe's Crab Shack. The Ocean Air. What would you say?
These are all fine if it wasn't Orlando.
Then you have...
I feel like you're catching dumpster fish out there. I could be wrong, but isn't Orlando not on the ocean?
It's close, isn't it?
I think it's inland enough that I'd be skeptical of
No,
what they're
it's
fishing.
close. It's fine. Then you have two steakhouses, Saltgrass Steakhouse and Morton Steakhouse. So you better figure out which one's better and only have that one pretty early on.
Yeah,
um,
basically.
Then you have two kind of normal restaurants, I guess. Palm and Del Fresco's. What would you say?
I like the logo of Palm, but I think here's my thing here with this overall is I feel like if it were me, and granted I'm obviously not an athlete, I'd want more variety than this. Like if my diet consisted of more of a variety, give me a Chinese food place, not obviously not like a Panda Express or anything, but like give me some local establishments. To say that you're offering variety is like here's two seafood, here's two steakhouses, and the rest we're just gonna give you like this place does burgers, spaghetti, everything.
I mean, that's what the places probably do anyway, right? Like it's a grill,
right,
so it's like your standard probably like wrap sandwiches and burgers.
Right, which is fine, but like I mean, come on, these guys are spending 3 months in the bubble here.
Yeah.
You know, other than the one guy on the Kings who stepped over the bubble boundaries. I hope
that Disney food is diverse enough, man.
Well, there's the guy on the Kings who, like, technically stepped off campus of the bubble to pick up his seamless food. So, and then issued an apology. It's like, yeah, we get it, dude. You're not actually sorry. You went to pick up the food. I'm pretty sure they painted the lines out there or something. They had to have marked the boundaries pretty clear.
Yep.
And apparently an NBA player already invited an attractive woman to his room. And we haven't even gotten to the week of the games yet. The games will start till August 1st. Or no, that's the NHL. Until the last week of July, I think it is.
Yeah.
We're still like 10 days away, and there's already people players trying to hook up. It's like, can you at least get the horniness under control for a week?
All right. Yeah. Anything else on food?
Mickey Mouse and his waffles.
All right. So
what else do we have?
That's it. Anything to close out? Any sarcastic remarks from you? Or did you just go through all of them during the...
Did I not have enough during this episode? Jeez, I basically had you roll your eyes into the back of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, our fantasy baseball, we're doing fine. It's not like everybody that we've drafted is getting COVID.
Yep.
Or struck in the head, or I mean, at this point, don't be surprised if by like week 2 of the season someone gets struck by lightning.
Hopefully not.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Texas is a hotbed for that, and we have Joey Gallo. So.
Yep.
Oh, and Yasiel Puig signed with the Braves and then immediately got COVID.
Yeah, I saw that, dude.
He signed with the Braves to add a nice contributing bat in the case that Freddie Freeman misses time because of his recovery from COVID, and then the guy that they just signed gets COVID. Yep. So,
all right,
you can't always do smart shit.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and catch you next time.